him. I didn't do anything wrong, but the fact that you guys are doing this to me and he's the man in this situation, I'm gonna comply. I am. I'm not gonna argue with you at all. But you had me on camera, but at the same time, what he has on camera, I have my phone, so something different. So if I need to show that,
Sha'Carri Richardson didn't just get suspended. She got erased from Team USA in one cold email. No warning, no sympathy, just, "You're done," with a single click. And the reason? A leaked uncut video showing exactly what went down between her and her boyfriend at the airport. And the league says this was the final straw. Now everybody's asking, who's lying here, Sha'Carri or her boyfriend Christian?
In the video, they are in the middle of an airport and he is visibly trying to walk away and she's like pushing him and like hitting him in the middle of a fucking airport in broad daylight. Like, as someone that's quite literally afraid to even record myself in public.
So here's the breakdown. Sha'Carri was arrested after allegedly putting hands on her man while they were trying to catch a flight at Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. Maybe she thought it would just blow over once the headlines cooled off, but nope, this time the fallout was nuclear. She just got blindsided with the shock of her career, kicked off Team USA for good, and this wasn't some minor suspension. This was a straight-up cancellation. The news didn't even come from a coach or a call. It was her own agent forwarding the coldest email ever from USATF. It read like a corporate pink slip. "You're hereby placed on indefinite leave effective immediately." And in the track world, that's the same as a death sentence for your career. Nobody bounces back from an indefinite leave with their reputation intact. What made it sting worse was the tone. It wasn't soft, it wasn't careful, it was ruthless. "No, we'll revisit this later. Just flat out, we're done with you." For Sha'Carri, it was the moment she realized the league wasn't trying to protect her anymore. They were cutting her loose once and for all. But let's be real, this didn't come out of nowhere. Sha'Carri's been skating on thin ice for years. Back in 2020, she was suspended right before the Tokyo Olympics after testing positive for THC. That meant she had to do a counseling program, plus a 1-month ban that knocked her out of the 100 meters and the 4x100 relay. Fans were furious at the time, pointing out that weed is legal in so many places. But the officials weren't buying that argument. To them, her behavior wasn't about weed. It was about a pattern. Behind the scenes, teammates had already been complaining. Coaches whispered about her lack of discipline and her attitude toward authority. These weren't just one-off slip-ups. They were red flags piling up. And the most telling part? Not a single one of her teammates has defended her since this latest arrest. Not a tweet, not a story, nothing. That silence is louder than words. It shows where they stand. But here's where the story takes a strange turn. Because instead of her boyfriend staying silent or pressing charges, he suddenly popped up defending her. Christian Coleman actually went public saying she didn't deserve to be arrested. That's wild, because he was the one she was allegedly getting physical with in the first place. In the leaked video, Christian tries to paint it off as just a bad situation they both fell into. But people watching weren't buying it. His body language said it all. He's shifting in his seat, avoiding eye contact, looking like he doesn't even believe the words coming out of his mouth. Fans started saying straight up that something didn't add up. Was he pressured to defend her? Was he covering for her? Or is the league hiding even more than they're letting on?
I feel like it was just a sucky situation all around. Like, I don't feel as if like she should have been arrested. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, you know, people have discussions and emotions and stuff like that. And she have like things that she need to work on for herself, of course. And so do I, so do you, like everybody. And I'm the type of guy, like, I'm in the business of just like extending grace and mercy and love. And I feel as if like I don't try to look at obstacles either. Like, I just look at like situations like this to just like, you know, take a step back, analyze yourself mentally, and then just try to see what you can do to be your best self so that you can move forward, so you can just be the type of person and the human that God needs you to be for his kingdom and for his glory. And so that's kind of how I look at the situation. And like,
the second that video hit Twitter, it blew up like wildfire. People were quick to call out how shady the whole thing looked. One user summed it up in the rawest way. This is a classic case of a DV victim defending and justifying their abuser's behavior. DV should never be tolerated in any situation. That comment alone had the timeline buzzing. But here's where it got messy. Even after that, a surprising number of people were still defending Sha'Carri. twisting it around to blame Christian somehow. But that shaky defense crumbled in seconds once the next video dropped, because it confirmed exactly what people had been whispering, but were too scared to say out loud. See, Sha'Carri didn't just play the victim, she straight up lied about her role from the start. She first brushed it off like it was nothing more than a little heated couple's spat gone too far. But that was back when people only saw a short clip of the arrest. Then the police released the full 15-minute body cam video, and suddenly everything clicked into place. At first, she's calm, smiling, acting like nothing's wrong. But the second she realizes she's actually about to be arrested, boom, total switch up. She goes from cool to hostile in seconds, turning on Christian hard.
My name is Sha'Carri Richardson. I do have my ID. Yeah, but I will definitely leave him alone. There's nothing that I want to do with him anymore. Like I said, it was a relationship thing. I need to get my stuff out of his bag.
Are you guys on the same flight, or?
We are later on in the day. Because our flight ended up getting delayed. We supposed to be leaving around this time of day, but the flight got canceled. So the flight doesn't leave until 10 p.m.-ish.
Okay.
So yeah, if you don't mind, can I step over here so I can check my ID?
That's fine.
Awesome, thank you.
But she calls him names, throws out coward, even tries ordering him to tell the cops she did nothing wrong. The mask slipped, and everybody saw it. And it didn't stop there. She flipped the script and claimed Christian hit her first, saying he should be the one in handcuffs because he's the man.
Christian, are you serious right now?
So man, in Washington State, he doesn't get a say.
But I understand, we were arguing. But I understand entirely. We were arguing. Okay, I'm not gonna resist. But I'm telling you that we was arguing. I didn't assault him. I didn't do anything wrong. But the fact that you guys are doing this to me and he's the man in the situation, I'm gonna comply. I am. I'm not gonna argue with you at all. But you had me on camera, but at the same time, what he has on camera, I have my phone, shows something different. So if I need to show that, I will.
We have you on cameras all around here.
Okay, but I have my phone that shows something different. But Christian, thank you, Christian.
Don't talk to him right now.
Okay, I won't. Thank you so much, officer. They are arresting me right now, Christian. They're arresting me right now. Am I gonna go actually to jail right now?
You are actually gonna go to jail.
Wait, but right now,
yes, it's a physical.
I didn't. Can he tell you that I didn't do nothing to him?
We have it on
Christian, are you serious right now?
All right.
Christian, I'm about to go to jail because of you right now. You know what? Okay.
Yep.
Okay. I will never fucking see you again.
The problem, witnesses and cameras showed something completely different. Instead of being the victim, she was the one putting hands on him. A few days later, TMZ turned up the heat by dropping the actual CCTV footage from inside the airport, and that was the nail in the coffin. The footage clearly shows Sha'Carri shoving Christian, stepping all over his space, and getting more aggressive the more he tried to back away. He didn't swing, he didn't touch her. If anything, he looked like he was just trying to get out of the situation, while she kept pressing in harder. That clip destroyed her credibility. It didn't just expose the lie, it exposed her manipulative side. Because if those cameras hadn't been rolling, her story could have stuck, and Christian might have been labeled the aggressor, the way she tried to throw him under the bus while she was the one starting the fight. Fans were stunned, and when the truth hit the public, her entire support system went silent. No teammates, no celebs, no fans rushing to defend her this time. It was radio silence because the footage spoke louder than any excuse ever could. Finally, Sha'Carri tried to save face by putting out a statement. But instead of apologizing or owning up, she doubled down in a way that made her look even worse. Fans were expecting remorse, but what they got only made the backlash explode all over again. When Sha'Carri finally broke her silence, fans thought maybe, just maybe, she'd own up and try to win back some respect. But nope, her apology turned out to be the biggest plot twist yet, and not in a good way. Instead of admitting fault, she came out swinging, calling the whole situation a setup, and claiming the media twisted everything to make her look bad. She even suggested that Christian had been coached into saying things that painted her in a negative light. That statement turned what was already a messy scandal into a full-blown circus. People were floored. Like, how do you get caught on camera putting your hands on someone and still spin it like you're the one being targeted? One fan tweeted, "She's acting like TMZ edited the CCTV footage. Girl, it's literally raw tape." Another posted, "Sha'Carri is doubling down instead of apologizing. That's not strength, that's arrogance." And those comments racked up thousands of likes in minutes. But the real kicker? She tried to pull the sympathy card by tying it back to her past controversies. Sha'Carri said she's always been misunderstood and treated unfairly by the league, hinting that this whole arrest was just another way to drag her name through the mud. That might have worked years ago, but now fans weren't buying it. They pointed out that her own teammates haven't spoken up for her. Not one word, not even a casual stay strong message. That silence spoke volumes, and it made her excuses look even weaker. And while the internet was already ripping her statement apart, insiders started leaking new details that made things worse. Word is, the league had already been keeping her on thin ice for months, quietly warning her about her behavior during training camps. One anonymous coach claimed she often brought drama into the locker room and refused to listen to authority. Another insider said bluntly, "This wasn't about one fight. This was about years of bad behavior finally catching up with her." Now here's where it got explosive. Because right after her statement dropped, whispers started spreading that Christian himself wasn't completely free to speak his truth. A blog posted screenshots of alleged DMs where someone close to Christian said he was pressured into downplaying the fight because he didn't want to ruin Sha'Carri's career. If that's true, then the whole thing runs even deeper than what the cameras caught. Fans were left torn. Was Christian protecting her out of love, or was there something bigger keeping him quiet? Either way, the fact that people even questioned it only fueled the fire more. The fallout was instant. Brands that once lined up to sponsor Sha'Carri quietly started pulling back. A sneaker company that had been planning a new campaign with her suddenly postponed the release. A major sports drink deal reportedly went cold. And just like that, millions of dollars that could have secured her future started slipping away. Meanwhile, the memes were ruthless. People were posting side-by-side clips of her smiling at the cops before flipping out, with captions like, "That moment when you realize the cameras don't lie." Others turned her setup claim into a running joke, tweeting things like, "Sha'Carri saying she was set up by her own hands." Instead of controlling the narrative, her statement just dragged her deeper into the storm. The scandal wasn't cooling down, it was spiraling faster than ever. Sha'Carri's apology video went viral the second it dropped, but not for the reasons she hoped. Instead of winning people back, it had fans clowning her all over again. Why? Because while her words sounded like accountability, her body language was telling a whole different story. In the clip, she talks about reflection, forgiveness, and wanting to make things right, especially with Christian. But her vibe, way too relaxed. She's smiling, giggling, and looking like she's just telling a funny story on IG Live instead of addressing something as serious as domestic violence. Fans instantly dragged her, saying the whole thing looked scripted by her PR team with zero genuine remorse.
Sha'Carri, and more than anything, definitely a lot of self-reflection, a lot of understanding of not only putting myself in a compromised situation, but somebody that I have a deep care and appreciation for as well, is something that holding myself accountable. I see myself, I'm taking this time to not only see myself, but get myself a certain level of help that overall is going to reflect who I truly am in my heart and my spirit, and not allowing this moment.
And just when people thought it couldn't get faker, she followed up with an IG story directed straight at Christian. She wrote, "I apologize to Christian. He came into my life and gave me more than a relationship, but a greater understanding of unconditional love. From my past trauma and pain, I was blind and blocked off to not only receive it, but give it. I love him, and to him, I can't apologize enough. My apologies should be just as loud as my actions, honestly, louder. To Christian, I love you, and I'm so sorry." Sounds sweet on paper, right? But fans weren't buying it. They called it nothing more than fake remorse, polished and rehearsed to get the media off her back. One user posted, "She already had a bad attitude, then got caught assaulting a man in public. Time to pack her up. If the roles were reversed, Christian would have lost everything." Another didn't hold back and actually tagged her sponsors, writing, "Nike, Sprite, Hi Paris, hold her accountable and cut her off. She's smiling way too much for someone apologizing." And that's when the silence got louder than words. Her sponsors went ghost. Before this mess, Sha'Carri had deals stacked up with major brands. But now, insiders say those partnerships are hanging by a thread. Big names like Nike don't play when it comes to protecting their family-friendly image. The moment an athlete crosses the line, they get dropped without hesitation, and Sha'Carri just might be next. No official announcement has been made yet, but behind the scenes, brand reps are flooding her phone, asking if she can still fulfill contracts. Meanwhile, new deals have been shelved, lawyers are circling, and her entire bag is on life support. What was once a $1 million career is now a countdown clock ticking toward collapse. The craziest part? Sha'Carri herself has gone completely quiet. No posts, no clapbacks, no defiance. The same woman who once sprinted through every scandal with her chin high is now standing still, watching everything she built slip away. If this suspension sticks, she's not just off the team, she's out of the race. Subscribe for more wild celebrity breakdowns and see you on the next one.